Bonjour mes amis, hi guys, we have a super special treat, especially for the vintage watch lovers today. We reviewed the collection of a fellow Belgian who lives abroad as well, and he mostly collects vintage watches. He prefers to remain anonymous. I do hope he will chime in the comments because you're gonna have many questions which I cannot answer. I'm not a vintage specialist, but I can sure appreciate anybody I think can sure appreciate this beautiful collection. For now, I will just call him Mr. Vintage. Hopefully, he will decide to reveal his YouTube handle in the comments and maybe answer some of the questions and some of the comments you might have about this collection. What's always great with vintage is that is the diversity, and it's also what's a bit overwhelming when you're considering buying vintage. There's so much choice, so many brands. Then you find, just like today, some trends that many brands have emulated. You find dials that are very similar, probably because they came from the same manufacturers, like the cases, the hands, or the bracelets. So it's a big puzzle to understand, and you have to really work at it many years to decide what is right, what is wrong, what is really valuable and interesting, and put together a very interesting collection. So, Mr. Vintage, a little bit about him in his email. He prefers very good quality pieces rather than luxury watches. Most of his watches are in mint condition, which he finds more important. He will wait for better condition at the right price rather than buy too fast. He's been buying watches since the 80s. He's in his 60s now, albeit on a much slower basis than the last 8 years. Internet has really sped up buying and selling. There is so much there, everything coming up, and but most of his watches come from the same dealer in Spain. I will not reveal which one it is. I don't want too many people to start competing with our friend here to purchase the same watches. But he says a very trustworthy company, very nice owners, and trust is everything when buying vintage. You're really buying the sellers indeed. So currently he's very happy with the collection as it is, and the high prices nowadays have slowed down buying activities as well. All right, so let's dig into it together. And we're going to go through it alphabetically by brand. And I will keep my comments to a minimum because, to be honest, I would have to Google for hours to really give you the lowdown on all these watches. But let me know in the comments which ones you love, which one you own or wish to own, and what do you know about the calibers and all that. It would be really interesting to open up a conversation. First, we have an Arsa 18 karat gold case and dial with a caliber Landeron 39. It's a 37mm watch from the late 40s. So we have a bicompax layout here with the Arabic numerals, all gold, very chic with the leaf hands. Here we have Citizen bullhead. It's when you have the pushers on top there of the chronograph. Reference 8110A, automatic model SSB caliber 8110, 38.5 millimeters from 1972. When you see the monsters these days, the monster watches, those watches then were still very wearable. Such a cool look, they are so sporty. Following Citizen, we have Dugena or Dugena, caliber Valjoux 7734, manual wind, 36 millimeter from the 70s. Lovely choice of colors there, different browns and black, with a cool pop of red in the bicompax register and a date at 6 o'clock. Next we have a Seiko, Grand Seiko there on bracelet. Reference 6145-8000, high beat, 36,000 beats per hour, automatic, 36.4 millimeters from 1969. Reminds you how old the Grand Seiko moniker is, and how close today's watches are from the ones of the past in the look. Next, something a bit more modern. We have Habring Masena Lab 02 with the jumping seconds 38.5 millimeter, bought in 2020. And if that wasn't enough, he bought another one, exactly the same. Habring make very few watches a year, and here we have a collaboration with the Masina Lab, very fetching with that sector dial, leaf hands. Really doesn't clash at all in a vintage collection. Another modern watch from 2015, Junghans Meister Driver reference 0273607.00, caliber Peseux 7001 manual wine, 37.7 millimeters. I have to admit, I like Junghans. Their watches are so slim, and I love the designs of all of them. This one here, Meister Driver, it's got that the driver look, like sort of computerized numerals. I think it looks quite stunning, and again works well in a vintage collection. Next we have Lausanne vintage automatic diver caliber ETA 2472, 37 millimeter from 1969, and my friend Ben from the YouTube channel Tokante, Tokkante, check him out, did a great review about the CQ from Glashütte Original, which you might think looks quite a lot like this. And I do believe that what he's the reason why the layout is so similar is because to get the certification as a diver in Germany, and maybe Lausanne is not German but Swiss, but maybe German Swiss, I don't know. But apparently to get some certifications as a diver, you need to meet certain criteria in terms of the size of the numerals and the hands, and this could explain why the CQ is quite close to this watch, and maybe they were following just the same certification process. Very, very beautiful, cool looking watch. And isn't that a treat when you're looking at vintage and you see something so reminiscent of something brand new, well, that we consider brand new, but actually everything, many of the things that we see now are just taken straight from the past. 1969, 50 years ago, the look was already there. Staying in the water with a Le Jour Regatta timer caliber Valjoux 7733 manual wind, 36.5 millimeters from the 1960s. Let's remember that the Valjoux caliber is very small, very tidy, and holds in watches of 36 millimeters. So regatta timer, typically you would time this until the start of the regatta rather than from the beginning of the regatta. Always a great look on that watch. Next we go to Longines with the Conquest Heritage caliber ETA 2824-2 automatic 35 millimeters from 2008, a reissue of a classic, and Longines can do this so well. They have access, of course, to the ETA to power the watches, and they do the old-timers to perfection. Here in 2002, they did the flagship 18-karat gold 34 millimeter, also with the ETA 2824-2. The reference, if you're interested, is L4.746.8.72.0. Very beautiful, classic watch. Then we go to the past of Longines, who was such a mega brand, as big as anything else. Longines reference 341 manual wine caliber 12.68Z 35 millimeter from 1957. The heydays of Longines, really. All right, keep on tracking with the Marvin hand wind military caliber 560 33 millimeters from 1954. Imagine the life that a watch like that may have had before it came in your possession. Following this, we have a very 70s kind of watch, the Miramar Dynamic Manual Wind 40 millimeters from around 1970. It's funny how we associate this look with the 70s. It automatically comes to mind those big imposing cases that so many brands had adopted. Back then, that was the look. Next, we have a Movado Datron HS360 caliber El Primero 3019 PHC automatic 37 millimeter from 1973. What a gorgeous piece. I love those cushion shaped cases. They suit the wrist so well and have so much presence. Next, we have a Nevada Grenchen Regatta Timer, caliber Valjoux 23, manual wind, 38.5 millimeters from between 61 to 65. Funnily enough, I really considered buying a Nevada as well not long ago. It came up at a good price in the auctions here. From what I could see, it was a good price, in good condition, running condition at least. And had interesting complication. I believe it was a flyback. I don't remember the details well, but yeah, that's when the seed was planted in my mind. And Nevada Grenchen, they were, I think that they were getting the Venus calibers at the time. Correct me if I'm wrong. And we enter Omega Land with a Chronostop caliber 865. Hand wound, reference 145.009, 34.5 millimeters only from 1968. How cool is this blue dial? And you will notice the mini track, very similar to the racing models of today. Next, we have a Grand Classic, the Constellation caliber 551 automatic 35 millimeters, 1957. We have seen recently the recreation of this exact watch. It is pretty much note for note reinterpretation of this symphony of Omega design cues. Absolutely stunning. Moving on, we have Genève Dynamic reference 166.039 caliber 565 automatic 41 millimeters, very imposing, and a classic look from the 70s. This one is from 1972, very integrated kind of look here with the bracelet. Next, we have another Genève reference 166070, a dress watch here, caliber 565 automatic with the date 35 millimeters from 1969. Very, very classic type of design. And another classic, we have a Seamaster 30, reference 135.037-63, caliber 286, manual wind with a gold cap case, patina dial, currently in service. And the Seamaster, if you don't remember, was created to be an everyday watch with some good water resistance. Following this one, we have another Seamaster, but this time is the Cosmic, reference 165026. So nice to see the different things they were trying here. Caliber 565 automatic, 35.5 millimeter from 1968. Imagine 1968 going to the Omega shop and trying on this Cosmic. Or a bit later in 1970, this Speedy Mark II, reference 145.014-70, caliber 861, manual wind, and again with that 70s case. Such a big change in styles for that Omega models, really retrace there from the 40s to today. Then we have something a bit more familiar with Speedy, reference 105.012-65, caliber 321, the famous one, manual caliber, model and year of the watch worn by Buzz Collins in Apollo 11. How about that? Then a couple of watches that just came back from service. Don't forget that if you buy vintage, service is a big part of the game. Omega F300 from 1971, tuning fork, reference 198.0027, 38.5 millimeter. And the watch we saw earlier on the wrist, an Omega Seamaster 1963 year with a manual wind movement, caliber 286, reference 135.007. It's a gold capped 40 micrometer 18 carat, now back and ready to be used. All right, and again with this look that we discussed before on Rodania this time. Rodania 2 was a big brand. Diver 666, 666, can't you do 665 or 667? 666 feet, manual wind, 37.5 millimeter. Around 1960, the year of production of this watch, and you have that case and bezel look. Also, might remind you of the Seiko 62 mass. And speaking of Seiko, here we have Seiko 5 from 1969 with a lovely cushion case. What a cool look! And you see, things haven't changed all that much. Next one, I really like that one. It's a Seiko Baby Kakume John Player Special Reference 6138-0030 caliber 6138 automatic 39.5 millimeters. Stunning look for this watch from 1977. I'm sure in your head you're already thinking, I need to buy one of these for my own collection. Or maybe this one, the Kakume reference 6138-0030 caliber 6138, 43 millimeters from 1974, integrated bracelet look. That's right, when the Royal Oak would have come out, and Seiko never want to be left behind, of course. Next we have a Seiko Panda reference 6138-8020 caliber 6138 automatic on a Seiko Cetelux bracelet 41 millimeters from 1973. I don't know, by this point you realize our friend here is really serious about his collecting habit, because he also has a speed timer bullhead from Seiko reference 6138-0040 caliber 6138B 43 millimeters from 1976. We're gonna get a watch from every year of the 70s. And let's get out of Seiko now for Timor Heritage Field Reissue Celita SW200-1 36.5 millimeters from 2019. You can still find these pretty easily. Field watch, well done, and again works well in the collection. Interesting how the past comes back to haunt us in watches. And here we have a gorgeous Yema Yachting Craft Regatta Timer caliber Valjoux 7733 manual wind 1969. We've seen something similar earlier on. Always cool to see that sub-dial at 3 o'clock with the Regatta timer function. And to finish, we have a Zenith El Primero reference 01.0210.415 caliber 3019 PHC automatic high beat 36,000 beat per hour 36 millimeters from 1973. What a trip down memory lane with this gorgeous collection. As I just said, I'm sure this is giving you some ideas. I love those Seikos, and then the 70s cases, the classic Omegas. Everything I think is wonderful. I'm not much of a specialist, so I can't really comment of the quality of the choices. But to me, everything really is quite wonderful. Let me know in the comments which ones were your favorites, which ones you would like to add to your own collection, which ones you own already, which vintage watches do you like, and if you have any questions, put them down there, and hopefully our friend will be able to chime in. Thank you so much for watching this long video. I think it was worth taking a bit of time. I went as fast as possible to go through all the watches. Wow. it was quite a beautiful journey. Thank you, my friend from Belgium, and I speak to you guys in the next one. Bye bye.